Your 20s are meant to be your foundational years. Every year you grow up, you have some type of new experience, some type of new perspective, and you start getting older to realize that you're not going to get any younger. Everything that you're working for, everything that you're trying to grind and go after is slowly coming to an end. And so the sooner that you start, the sooner that you can actually, get your head on straight and realize that you're building the foundation at a younger age, the sooner that you'll actually start grinding and putting in the time instead of it being too late. So in your 20s, a lot of people, they want to smoke, they want to drink, they want to go party, they want to waste time, they want to waste money, they want to, live life. And there's almost no problem with that as long as you can find a balance. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that, like, traveling and using your money, that's great. Do that when you're young, because when you're older, you're going to be having kids and you're going to be having more responsibilities. But if you're not utilizing the experiences that you have or the resources that you have, then you're going to end up 40 years old wondering, what did I do wrong? What did I go wrong in my life? You know what I'm saying? You're going to have kids and be like, man, how are we still living paycheck to paycheck? How am I still struggling on a consistent basis where I haven't set myself up when I was younger? You know what I'm saying? There's so many people when they're older, they're like, man, I wish that when I was younger, I did blank, blank, blank. I wish that when I was your age, I did blank, blank, blank. You know what I'm saying? I wish that when I was in high school, I was already learning about blank, blank, blank instead of me waiting till college or waiting till I had my first kid or till I had this certain experience happen to me. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that as we're younger and as we're trying to figure life out, we have to realize that we are in these prime years to actually be able to afford a mess up. We can afford messing up because you can still stay with your parents, you can still restart with zero money and still be able to go get a job and just restart, your life. It's hard to do that when you're 35, 40 years old and you have your wife or you have, your kids depending on you. You can't just restart, because now it doesn't just affect you, it affects the other people around you. You know what I'm saying? So when you're in your 20s, you got to use those as your foundational years. Use those as the years that you want to grind, that you want to try stuff, that you want to put yourself out there. Take the risk, because whenever you do take the risk, you're going to learn that it's actually okay to be risk, to take the risk. Like, you, again, can have some type of cushion to fall back on. The thing is that whenever you're at that certain age of trying to actually take a risk, once you get in your 35s, your 40s, and you actually have more to lose than just a person that's 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be more cautious and be more careful with that, because once you start actually developing the risky mentality at a younger age, then it gives you more space to actually be able to recover from the losses. It gives you more time to learn about more mistakes. It gives you more time to experience more things, because when you get too late, then you can't really just do that all the time. And like for me, I'm 24, you know what I'm saying? So I've learned a lot of experiences whenever I started at 18. I started learning about my mentality. I started learning about how money worked. I started learning about what type of people I needed to be around. I started learning about different things that people start to tend to learn about when they're older. And that's why when you're in your 20s and you actually are more developed, or maybe you're more mature than people, then they actually notice it. You know what I'm saying? People actually will give you the compliment, hey, I appreciate that you don't smoke and drink. I appreciate that you don't curse all the time. I appreciate that you actually have a good head on your shoulders. I appreciate blank, blank, blank. Like, you are a rare, person in this society, but also at your age. You know what I'm saying? You start to receive more compliments based on what other people are not doing. And so you just got to be able to put yourself in that position where you're like, okay, what do I need to do to get to the next level in my 20s? And what foundational sets do I need to have in my life? That way I'm not actually wasting my time. Because how you are when you were 10 to you're 20 to you're 30 to you're 40, all these different stages in your life are going to end up changing, and they're actually going to have more of an effect on you than you think. So I say these things to say, focus on the best you that you can be in your 20s. It's okay to lose. It's okay to restart. It's okay to move on. It's okay to keep going. It's okay to get up when you lose. It's okay to do all these things when you're younger. It's kind of like riding a bike. You know what I'm saying? Over time, when you're a kid, you're trying to learn how to ride the bike. You're going to fall. You're going to scrape your knee. You're going to get up. You're going to try it again. You're going to fall. You're going to scrape your knee. Maybe you scrape your elbow, but you're going to get up and you're going to keep going. That's how it is whenever you're in your 20s. When you're younger, you can afford to scrape your knee. You can afford to potentially break a bone. You know what I'm saying? Someone else is going to cover that medical bill anyway. But when you start getting older and you have to cover your own bills and you have to start covering your own, health and everything like that, you can't afford to just fall off the bike. You can't. and you got to stay on the bike. At that point, you should know how to ride the bike because you've already went through all the times that you practice. That's how it is when you're in your 20s or in your teens. So yeah, you guys, that's the thing that I would tell you. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to take the risk. It's okay to fall. It's okay to get up. Right now, you're in that season to do that. But I would also add, make sure that you actually have a foundational relationship with God. You know what I'm saying? Have a relationship with the Creator. Like, what was it? A couple days ago, I was listening to this video or this sermon, and it was saying that if you're not connected to the source, you're going to die. Kind of like how if you have flowers and they're already picked, they're not connected to the dirt, so they're going to die because they're not connected to the source. Just like how if you have a fish and it's not in the water, it's going to flop around because it's not connected to a source. If we aren't connected to God, the source that we have is not going to flourish and to be successful. So you have to be connected to God because He's the Creator. He's our source to actually give us life. You know what I'm saying? So as we're moving on in our lives, you have to understand that the source and the creation is very crucial to being who you want to be. And the thing is that the younger that you are, the younger that you can actually understand that, the quicker that you'll actually be able to become more mature and live correctly. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they grow up in a foundation where they're like, we're going to go to church, you know, I have good parents, or maybe I don't have good parents, or, you know, I have a certain influence around me and it affects the way that I grew up. But the quicker that you're like, oh, well, you know, I know God, I have a relationship with God, He's my Creator, and I want to live accordingly to what He says, or I want to live right, then it's also going to put you in that winning position because God is going to bless you continuously. You know what I'm saying? No matter what moments come at you, no matter what tests come at you, God knows that you are going to succeed because you have Him by your side. So we got to keep flourishing. We got to keep growing. We got to stay connected to the source. And like I said, you guys, it's okay to take that risk. Taking a risk is not a bad thing. Again, you can afford a loss when you're younger. You can afford a loss when you're younger because when you're young, you can actually still get that money back. The only thing you can't get back is time, but you still gain knowledge. So you can actually get your time back so you don't keep making those mistakes over and over, as long as you learn the lesson. You know what I'm saying? So that's really all I got for you on this video. I just need you guys to understand, if you're in your 20s or in your teens, this is the foundational years for you to become who you want to become. Forget all the partying, forget all the, you know what I'm saying, forget all the drinking, forget all the smoking. Let's get to the money, get to the bag, work on our skills, work on our people skills, network with people, and really put yourself in a position to win, as well as staying connected to the source, which is staying connected to God. And with that, all of that will put you on the next level, instead of you having to worry about, oh, I'm 40 years old, I wish that I did this and this when I was younger. I wish that, you know, before I had kids, I did this and this. Before I got married, I did this and this. You're in a position now to start winning, so start winning. Put yourself in that position. It's real simple, y'all. That being said, though, like this video, share this video with someone who needs to hear that it's time to level up. All this clubbing and all this stuff that we're doing to waste our time is not going to be beneficial. We got to lock in. You got to get to the money. You got to get to the, you know what I'm saying? You got things to do. You're not going to be some nobody sitting around on the couch playing games, eating bad food, and just living life. You got a purpose. So you got to go figure out what your purpose is and move with that. So, like I said, you guys, share this with somebody that needs to hear that. Comment what you guys think about the video. Of course, I love hearing from you guys. And until then, I will catch y'all in the next video. I'm gone.